Hoy there, chummers. Sarat here again, and I promise not to inundate you with too much shadow speak, unless you guys start asking for it for some strange reason. I don't know. Anyway, it's time to Let's Play Shadowrun. As the status screen shows, yes, you see the word Matrix, has nothing to do with those movies. Shadowrun was a pen and paper role-playing game. As you can see, copyright 1989 by a group named Fossa. Yes, and this is one of the favorite pen and paper role-playing games that I ever played. The setting, it's about, mid-21st century. Not too far from now, actually. And mega corporations have kind of taken over the world, and the world is very, very cyberpunky. People have essentially... magic has reawakened, first of all, and elves, orcs, trolls, and a few other types of metahumans have returned. Dragons have returned. And megacorporations now control the world. Only the problem is, they generally have need to capture competition or kill off competition, but can't really do anything about it directly. So they hire mercenaries to run in darkness, to run in the shadows, to go do these little feats of dirty work for them. Hence the name, Shadowrun. Now in the pen and paper role-playing game, you generally played one of these Shadowrunners as you took on contracts from various Johnsons, they called them. Johnsons were kind of the contact for, the anonymously named contacts that the corporations or even private individuals would use. You fulfilled those contracts, you got paid, you survived, you upgraded your weapons and armor, and became a force to be reckoned with, or you were splattered by some low-level wage mage with a really, really lucky Hellblast shot. Good times. And I have some wonderful stories from back in the day. Someday you should get me to tell you the Babachu story. That was one of the fun ones. So anyway, I'll shut up now and let the intro play out. And there you have it. Pretty much, that was our antagonist that was left for dead there by the hit squad. Let's get this in. Brain burnt. They say some gang geeked him. Yeah, he don't look so dead. Yeah, he's flatlined out. We'll take care of him. Yeah, in the morning. Yeah, Sam. So now, meet our protagonist. A guy who was... Oh, my head. My brain feels burnt. Where am I? Who am I? That's right, he has amnesia. And part of the key to solving this game is figuring out exactly who he is and why someone wanted to kill him. That will remain somewhat of a mystery for a little while, but for now we can at least learn his name. And to learn his name, the label reads Armitage J. A bit of paper fell out. So I guess I should take a little bit of time to explain the controls. First, when you don't have the hand up, you can walk around by using the directional pad. Then the buttons you press will determine what you do. The select button brings up that little quick status screen. The pause button brings up your main menu, the start button. As you can see, I'm only 30 hit points, no magic, and not much in the way of anything else. We can look at our items, and we start out with a matchbox. So let's look at it. The matchbox has a Wastelands Club logo on the back. Looks like we might need to find this Wastelands Club after all. Why would we have a matchbox from the Wasteland Club? Seems like a good place to go when we can find the place. When we can remember where it is, anyway. So magic. He has no magic. Yet. Weapon? He doesn't have any weapons. Armor? Doesn't have any of that either. We start out at 0. But he has skills. Level 1 firearms and level 1 computer. We will have to fix that. But cyberware. He starts out with a head computer and a data jack. Now, I guess I should talk about what these are for. The head computer and the data jack. If you look at his picture there, that little green wire that's coming down from his skull, yeah, the wire really shouldn't be there. But, in essence, that is how people talk to computers in the Shadowrun world. They have a thing called a little data jack implanted into their skull, usually around their temple. They stick a wire into it. That wire connects directly into the brain, and then goes down into what's called a cyberdeck. You attach the cyberdeck to a computer, and suddenly you have a direct neural interface with the computer, and thus what we conceived of being whatever the internet back in the late 80s, it's called the Matrix. And this game doesn't really do a great job of representing the Matrix, but basically you create your own persona and get to walk around in there. It's a fun little world, although nobody likes deckers. They slow games down. Anyway, so aside from moving around, the buttons, the L, the R, the X, the L, the R, and the X all bring up that little hand icon. And that hand icon is what you use to interact with anything out in the world. Like this little piece of torn paper that came out. So I can examine it or pick it up. For now, let's examine it. And you see it gives you shortcuts, so you don't have to bring up this little window every time you want to do something. But for now, I'll just use the X button, and the paper reads Warehouse number 5. Let's go ahead and pick it up. Now, it's very important to examine your surroundings closely in any area you come into, because even the smallest little pixel of difference, like this little black line over here, notice that there's nothing on this table, but there's a scalpel right here. A very sharp instrument. But we can pick it up, and it will become useful later. As a matter of fact, it becomes downright necessary later. And you can spend half the game not knowing you need that scalpel, nor even knowing there's a scalpel to be had. And these fridge doors, also another thing you may have noticed already, anything you can interact with pops up a little green bar down in the corner there. telling you what it is and the fact that it's an interactable object. So let's go ahead and open the door and take a look inside the fridge. Nothing. And see that black mark there? That is called a slap patch, which is a healing patch. In the middle of combat, you can use that to regain a few hit points. Very useful at the beginning, not so useful later. So anyway, let's see if we can talk to these two gentlemen out here, the morgue guys. Nope, they think we're a zombie. Nobody here but us mice! Good, open up. Nope, it's locked from the inside. And unfortunately, we can't get in there, but we do need to talk to them. The problem is, right now they think we're a zombie. We will have to fix that. And unfortunately, we cannot open the file cabinets to get inside, but maybe we can open them with the scalpel. Unfortunately, no. Oh, with this little adventure out of the way, it's time to wander into the outside world. And now that we're out here, we notice that door is locked, so we leave. And a man running by. Hey, you! What? You can't be alive. I saw you getting geeked by those hitmen. And notice that hitmen is in bold. That means it's a key word that we can use in conversations, which I'm going to explain now since we have a conversation menu. The first option we get with everybody is to just talk, which gets an extra paragraph or so out of them. You're crazy showing your face again. You better get smart like me and pack a firearm or you'll wind up dead. And now we can ask about, and this brings up all the keywords that have been brought up. For example, hitmen and firearms from him. I ain't got time to talk with the corpse. If those guys finds out what I was with you, I'll be creamed too. And then hitmen? They want you dead. If I were you, I'd watch myself. Now, those of you that have watched my Let's Plays of the Tex Murphy games, or even played them yourself, will notice a slight resemblance to the Tex Murphy games in your conversations. But this guy knows more than he's letting on, so let's follow him. Hey, buddy. I'll explain that in a minute. Hey, you. Looks like you took a wrong turn, dreckhead. It'll be your last. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. First, grab the pistol. And second, equip it. See, now that we have a pistol, we can open up a weapons menu. Notice how we got no weapon equipped? We now have a weapon equipped. So now let's talk about the combat in this game. It's pretty simple, really. You hit the A button. Brings up that little target. You move the target with the D-pad. Aim it on whoever you want to shoot, and start firing away with the same A button. But now notice that had body written on it. We can examine it, but there's nothing special. But this guy has a worn leather jacket. It just says worn leather jacket. That's as specific as it gets, but that worn leather jacket is our first armor. So let's equip it. And now we have an armor level of 1 thanks to the leather jacket. Now, since we're down here, let's head towards the end of the alley and see if there's anything interesting. Oh my god, it's glowing eyes. It's a talking dog. Tread carefully, Whelp. You have much to overcome. Dog controls your destiny. Seek out 3 items of his favor, and then seek his shrine. And that's all he will say. He's going to growl at us with every other option. Well, that's all we can see down there. But we can look at a bulletin board. 7th generation cyberdeck, now in keyboard size. And no, we can't follow the dog, as helpful as that might be. But for now, this is a good stopping point for the video. When we come back, we explore this whole world we've been dumped in and see if we can find some more clues for identity. So until then, see you later, folks. Bye.